Winfrey, people are beginning to see you for who you are.
Oprah is known for changing people's lives for the better.
But why is she accused of ruining actor Monique's life?
How do you as a black woman watch another black woman be thrown under the bus based off of a lie?
She trusted Oprah with her secrets.
I shared my relationship with her about my mother.
But then
I began to see commercials with my mother, with my brother.
Monique's older brother, Gerald, comes clean about.
I did inappropriately touch my sister.
He abused you from the time you were
7. Oprah Winfrey, what you did was malicious, and it was intentional, and it was ugly.
But after Monique finally stood up for herself, she was attacked.
Started getting labeled as difficult.
For 8 years, my family has suffered, and my career has suffered.
Monique is in the media right now. Why don't you address it?
Oh my gosh, because it's impossible. You can't meet negative energy where it is.
Oprah has disrespected victims many times in her career.
Is Monique gonna be the one to finally take down Oprah?
Oprah Winfrey, I'm never ever gonna waver. Stop hiding. You know what you need to do. A lot of people said, how could you say that? Oprah is a human being. She bleeds, she breathes, and one day she'll expire. And if you feel like there's something you need to say to anyone, I feel like you should say it.
When it comes to Oprah and Monique's falling out, it's actually more complicated than it seems. We discovered that it's deeply personal. So both Oprah and Monique grew up in very abusive households. Monique had always looked up to Oprah ever since she was young.
I'm a little black fat girl from Baltimore, Maryland, and I saw this fat black woman on a TV show. We took a field trip to that studio, and I hugged that woman. And I said, when I grow up, Miss Winfrey, I want to do what you do. And she said, you know, you got to work really hard.
And she did just that. She worked extremely hard and achieved her dreams of becoming a stand-up comedian. And every time her path crossed with Oprah, they grew closer and closer.
That woman hugged me and said, when I look at you, I ain't doing nothing but looking at me. And I shared my relationship with her about my mother, as she shared hers with me.
And so by the time she got her big break doing the movie Precious, it was a great opportunity for her to work with Lee Daniels, which was an old friend, and Oprah as well. Everybody was so used to seeing Monique as a comedian that nobody was expecting her to do such a great job.
The first thing I said to her was, who's your favorite designer? Because you need to get your dress ready to walk down that red carpet to the Oscars, girl.
Everyone was talking about Monique's performance. Now producers are wanting to fly her around the world. They want her to promote the movie. But at this point, her priorities had already shifted.
There was a request from the movie studio that I fly to France for the Cannes Film Festival. I simply said I respectfully declined. And I said to them, my deal is with Lee Daniels, and I've done my job. I did all of my contractual obligations, and I was done.
Why wouldn't she want to go to Cannes?
At this point, she'd already had 2 failed marriages. By the 3rd marriage, she was desperate to spend time with her family.
When they called, I had a couple days just downtime. I wanted to spend that with my husband and my kids. I said, guys, I'm spending time with my family. I'm gonna pass. And they all agreed.
Monique thought she had the support of everybody, Oprah, the producers, but it was far from the truth.
We're on the campaign, and she was making unreasonable demands. You gotta play ball. This is not just show. It's show business.
And the backlash only got worse.
I got labeled as difficult because I said one word, and that was no. Now, I said no to some very powerful people. What Tyler Perry showed me, Lee Daniels, Oprah Winfrey, and Lionsgate. When you don't do what we ask you to do, we'll take your livelihood.
But this isn't the only difficulty that Monique is facing at the time. So while she's getting backlash because she wasn't playing the game, Monique had been betrayed by somebody that she never saw coming. This is where things shift from professional to deeply personal.
What happened?
Oprah Winfrey called us up, and she said my brother wanted to come on the show.
Your older brother you described as a monster, and he abused you.
Yes.
From the time you were
7.
How did he abuse you? Are we talking about sexual abuse?
Yes. She said, if you don't want me to have your brother on the show, I will cancel the show. But I wanted to call you up to see how you felt first.
Monique thought Oprah had her back, but that was not the case.
I began to see commercials with my brother, my mother, my father, and my other brother. Now, the reason why that means so much is because in the conversation we had about my brother, we then went deeper. And we began to talk about our relationships with our mothers and our fathers. She never said my mother was coming on that show, because had Oprah Winfrey said, I'm gonna have your mother, I would have said, shut it down.
Not only are you betrayed by somebody that you thought was your friend, but somebody that has lived the same experience as you and should know how deep that would hurt.
It probably was a really bad mistake on Oprah's part, but according to Monique, Oprah didn't apologize for it. So one night at a party, Monique had a chance to confront her.
I looked to Oprah Winfrey and I said, you know, you and I need to have this conversation. Why would you have my mother on your show? And she said, if you think I did something wrong, I want to apologize. No, Oprah, it ain't what I think. You did do something wrong. You had full intentions of having my parents on your show and not saying anything to me.
Yeah. Did Oprah ever actually apologize?
No, and she doesn't really address Monique. Even when she's asked about her in interviews, this is what she said.
It's impossible. If you meet negative with negative, you will just have a combusted negative force and negative energy. You have to rise above it. You have to transcend it. You have to be the light.
So by this point, Monique was just fed up of people in positions of power taking advantage of her.
You begin to see deals that you had that just went away. You begin to see things not make sense. I'm unapologetic and I'm unwavering about it. Because when I see this woman, Oprah Winfrey, how do you as a black woman watch another black woman be thrown under the bus based off of a lie? What I won't do is be quiet. I won't go away. I won't back down.
And so when she was offered an unfair deal by Netflix, she decided to push back.
The offers just didn't make sense. If we continue to accept these low offers, however do we make it different and make a change? I've got to speak up and speak out. And I've got to say it's blatantly unfair.
What was unfair about it?
She was offered $500,000 to do a Netflix special, a comedy special. The problem is that other comedians, like the Amy Schumers of the world, is that like she's getting offered like $10, $11 million.
Like $500,000 is still a lot of money, but then when you find out it's $500,000 versus $11 million.
Monique also has a resume. You know, she had won the Oscar, she had a talk show, so it wasn't like she was just some like loser. It was more so the principle and not necessarily the amount.
Monique is suing Netflix for discrimination.
Did she win?
They actually settled, you know, of course, undisclosed amounts, I'm not sure, but she did end up agreeing to a special and a film with Lee Daniels.
Another one?
Yeah, because he actually ended up apologizing to her.
I am so sorry for hurting you in any way that I did.
Monique didn't back down against those that had more power than her. She fought until she won because she understood that this fight was bigger than just her.
If it helps the next young lady who's not here yet to get proper wages, to be treated fairly, to be respected, I'll take the charge. I'll take it if it's going to make the next one get what she deserves.
Hi, you guys. So Goalcast, they are discussing the relationship between Monique and Oprah Winfrey and the fallout. I guess they're trying to maybe examine why or what happened and what could either one of them do to resolve the issue if they wanted to. I feel like if Oprah apologized to Monique, that probably would end the entire thing. That's my opinion, but who's to say? They are saying that it's deeper than we know, so I'll have to watch it to see. And I'm not sure when they're going to upload this because this is going to air here on YouTube. They have a YouTube page, Goalcast. What do you guys think about all of this? About this group of people even wanted to tackle the conversation of the relationship between these two. I guess people could see that Monique's treatment was unfair, and maybe they're just they want to be on the right side of that, because so many people are scared of, in Hollywood, that is, in Hollywood, because they need these people's approval. These people could say things to other people to stop them from working. And so a lot of people were scared to speak up for her. And she called them out about that. Remember that, right, Monique? So maybe people are just trying to right a wrong, right? Because I felt like Monique she was well within her right to feel the way she felt, and if Oprah really wanted to work things out, she could have, as the big sister, as the one who had the ability to end all of that. She could have ended it in a different way. Let me word that way than the way she handled it. And I know in the media, she said she didn't want to meet Monique with negativity. Now, I don't know, but maybe there's something missing. Maybe they're going to bring it out in this documentary. Maybe Monique was more responsible in some other kind of way than what we know. I don't know, and I'm not taking a side in that because I wasn't there, and I really don't know what was said and what was done. However, based on what Monique was telling us, I don't see how she was wrong in that. But that's just my opinion. What do you guys think about the documentary? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious if Oprah will respond this time or not. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next video.